Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. And as you can see, it's early morning here in Alaska, and this is basically my second attempt because I was trying to start the engine in Kodiak and it would just not start at all. So I'm not sure what the issue is, but as of now the engine is running. We already have our mission set for the day and we are going to a nearby airfield. Um, it's called Gold King Creek. So we have already loaded up a lot of things. So I started the stream earlier. I had to delete that unfortunately, but it is because our aircraft just wouldn't start. The NG wasn't rising, probably the temperature or something. But the flight is set. You can see a lot of stuff going on here on the events. Well, the flight is set, and as you can see, we are loaded up with cargo. It goes all the way back to the back of the aircraft. So let me quickly get my screens out for my iPad here. And we are ready. Finally the engine has started. Very frustrating here. I'll turn on the pitot heat and everything is looking good. Next what we're gonna do is, as always, let's go to our flight plan. And we are currently at Pafa, aka Fairbanks. So from Fairbanks, yeah, there you go. Enter. Let's look at the weather. 00, very clear. We are going towards south, so we'll choose a runway about, like, I don't know, maybe 20 left is like right over here, so we can go ahead and take that. We'll take 20 left and enter, and then we are going to, our destination is Papa Alpha Alpha November. There you go. And there is no wind information over there. We'll choose runway 27 for now, and we'll press enter. We'll go to procedure and select a visual, of course, for runway 27. I mean, you know what, we can I think we'll do runway 09. Yeah, we're gonna do runway 09. We'll go straight in. Minimums will be radio altimeter of 500 this time, because I know that's a remote field, so I don't wanna do anything crazy. We'll go 500 and we're gonna load it up. Okay, we are ready here. So runway 09 is set, and there you go. It's gonna be a short flight, not too much, 35 nautical miles, and we are right next to the runway as well. So we'll go ahead, take this 20 left runway, and we will be ready to go. Few things to change. Our final approach fixed altitude is 2000, so the elevation of the runway is definitely higher. We'll first set this to CDI. For our autopilot, we're gonna fly at around, I think, 5500 to begin with. Now there is gonna be terrain a lot, so we'll have to manage that as we go. For vertical speed, we'll set it to about 1600. It is very cold out there also. And for our altimeter, we can go back here and go to our origin, and the altimeter is 2984. So now that we have altimeter here, we can go ahead and set that. Wait, hold on, my memory is so bad. I think 2984 is what we saw, so we're gonna set that up. 2984 is set, and with all that done, let's go ahead and start our flight. I'm gonna zoom in into our inset map here. Oop, the altitude changed by mistake. Okay, so let's go ahead, zoom in our inset map, because I want to make sure that I'm out of all the obstacles. Okay, with engine running finally, we are ready to go. So we're gonna set our flaps, taxi light can come on, parking brake can go off, and we are ready to taxi to our runway. After a lot of shenanigans, I got to start the engine. Hopefully it is gonna go well. The RPM is still not on green. ITT is okay, it's a little bit of low temperature. And while we are going, I'm gonna set my rudder trim. That is set as well. I don't even know where the taxiway is here. Yeah, I think that's one of, yeah, so we're gonna take this taxiway right here, and that will take us to the runway. It's a beautiful morning out here in Fairbanks, Alaska, and we are about to get started. So we are at runway holding short point. In just a bit, my rudder pedals, making sure they are not gonna act too bad. So, and we are heavy, so we'll lift off quite a bit. Okay. Taxi light off, landing and strobe comes on, auxiliary fuel pump comes on, our flaps is set. I'll turn on the nav on here for autopilot, and let's go ahead. Fuel condition lever goes to high idle. So your ITT is not gonna go on reds, that's what's been happening. My rudder pedals are very sensitive right now. Okay, we are not gonna waste any runway. So now that we are good, we're quite a bit heavy. Okay, the weather finally, it's just suddenly changed. That's crazy. Microsoft Flight Simulator needs to fix this weather bug. We'll lift off at about 75 today. We are kinda heavy, so let's go ahead, and I think we're good here. We have
Airborne
lifted
time
off.
logged.
Flaps can go up to 10, and shortly it will be fully up. Your damper can come on. Flaps full up, and we'll reset our rudder trim. Auxiliary fuel pump can come off, making sure to keep extra eye on the engine, because I'm actually scared what if the engine quits on me. It's most probably because of the temperature that this happened, but look at that, so beautiful. So if we look in the map, there isn't too many mountains. Like, yeah, we are gonna be landing right next to, I mean, on a hill or a high elevation airfield. But other than that, we are gonna be good. So let's go ahead, straighten up with our GPS line. After takeoff checklist, flaps are up, auxiliary fuel pump is off, and we are climbing at about 107-8 knots, which is still good. And it's a beautiful morning in here. So what I figured out is that we had to, even though our NG was not in greens, after putting the fuel condition lever on low idle, I still had to go ahead with normal procedure and then just continue. Basically, once we put our RPM to max, our NG started to rising and it was on green. So that's the shenanigan that we went through. I even had to cancel my previous stream because I was like, this might be a bug. But here we are, finally flying, and I'll put this into autopilot, and we'll be climbing and getting to our cruising altitude in just a short bit. Okay, we are almost at our cruising altitude. One more time, I'm just making sure that we are clear here. And in our inset map, if we go back, you can see we're still going to be on the greens when we are landing. So that's not going to be bad, and we can even turn on that feature on our big map. But for now, I'll just keep it how it is. Very, very interesting start to this stream. But look at that beautiful morning though. And look at all the cargoes inside. So our goal and the reason why we chose this mission is basically right now we are in Fairbanks and we have to go to Anchorage because that's where our special mission is waiting, pending for us. It's gonna be a very short flight here. We chose visual runway 09 and we should be there in about 10-15 minutes. So right now we have reached our cruising altitude. I'm gonna cut back my power just a little bit to bring my RPM to about 2000, and then we're gonna bring back our power. So keep it to 220 and then I'll increase my torque. As I increase it will drop down to 2000. There you go, we are at 2000 RPM and torque of 1780. I can go to procedure, activate our approach, and now we are good. Our top of descent is in about 5 minutes. Very, very beautiful out there. I'm gonna try to stay within 170 knots of speed so that we don't get a warning from OnAir Airline Manager, which we did in yesterday's stream if you saw. But if we go here, our top of descent is in about 5 minutes. It's a visual straight in, and we're gonna be landing in pretty much high altitude. I think the elevation for the field is almost 1700, and we can check that in OnAir Airline Manager. So you can see the altitude for the runway. We chose 09. It's 1719, so 1719 feet. And if we turn on the regular map and we zoom in there, it is basically like a private airstrip where we are going right now. It's gonna be fun. The landings in these airstrips are always fun, and there is no meter information, so we might have to we have to decide on like when we are right there. Put my rudder back to reset. We have a lot of fuel, so I fueled up a lot. I did on the other stream before I cancelled that stream. The reason why we fueled up a lot is because our goal is to go from Fairbanks to Anchorage for the special mission, and on the way I'm not sure how many airports we're gonna find where we can refuel. So I took more than enough fuel that will take us all the way from Fairbanks to Anchorage, and extra fuel because we're gonna be doing a lot of small legs between these two airports, as we are doing one right now. In terms of top of descent, we are 3.5 minutes away. So what do we do now? Well, now I'm gonna reset my altitude right here. So we're gonna set it to our, let's say, initial approach fix is 2842. So we're gonna set it at about 2000. I don't wanna go too low today, so let's set it up at 2000. So once we set that up to 2000, and remember, when we are flying in remote areas like that and there are a lot of mountains, we have to do the judgment, like we have to turn off the autopilot and fly it ourselves. As of right now in our inset map, we can see that there is no risky areas, at least for the altitude that we are currently. As we descend down, we'll have to be careful how we descend down. And once we have that set, we can go to our, I'll just show you here on our autopilot panel, the VNAV button. I've already mapped it up on one of my Bravo throttle quadrant, so I can press that VNAV, and now if we head back to our PFD, we can see that VPath is armed. Once we cross over our top of descent, which is in about 2.5 minutes, our VPath will be activated and we'll start descending down. Also, I just realized we did not turn on our AC or heating system. I'm gonna increase the temperature. I mean, we don't need in the cargo bay. That should be okay. We don't need it in the cargo bay. We're just gonna keep it to the pilot. So yeah, we are set with our VNAV. We will start descending in about 2 minutes, and then we can see how the landing goes. Everything is snowy white here, but the sunrise is just beautiful in Alaska here. If you guys want to watch a very long Alaskan bush trip, which was our special mission which we did yesterday, the stream went up almost to 4 hours. The second flight took us 2.5 hours, and we went from, what was that place? We were somewhere near, we're near Lake Clark National Park. I forgot the name of the area there, but we flew from there all the way to Fairbanks, and it was a very interesting one because we were heading towards some nasty mountains, and towards the very end we decided to just divert, not to another airport, but we just changed our route a little bit, and we managed to get to Fairbanks safely. A minute to go for our top of descent. We are a bit heavy today as we fueled up a lot, and we are carrying a lot of cargo as well. In total, we're carrying around 1700 pounds of cargo and 1400 pounds of fuel. I took a lot of extra fuel. I do not want to get in a situation where we don't have enough fuel and then we're scratching our head. Oh, what do we do? 40 seconds to start our descent. We might do a pattern depending on how we feel for the straight in visual approach. So in the PFD, if you see, once the pink line hits this line, our V path will be activated, so we can wait and watch here. And the moment that happens, we gotta cut the power. There you go. We don't want to overspeed, so we're gonna cut down our power, and I'm gonna bring my prop to max. So we have started our descent. We'll try to stay within 150 knots of speed. Zoom in on my PFD map, and once we are close to straight point, our first waypoint for the visual approach, we will put down our flaps to 10, and for that our speed limit is 138 knots in the Kodiak. The airfield is somewhere around here. We'll make sure our inset map is helping us a lot. I really like this map. Really helps with flying around mountain and high elevation areas. So yesterday we crossed those mountains right there. Look at how huge that is. Let's cut down our power. We'll try to get to 140 knots kinda, and if we go to our MFD, I'll show you here. So once we are descending down, our top of descent indicator becomes bottom of descent, which means we're gonna get our bottom of descent is basically the final approach fix. So we're gonna get there in about 2 minutes, so we need to start decreasing our speed, and we'll work on our flaps as we get closer and closer to our final approach fix. Also, it's gonna be a little bit hard to I mean, that's what I'm thinking. It might be a little bit hard to find the airstrip because everything is just white down there. But I think this I don't know what this is. This might be the airstrip. I'm not 100% sure because it looks like just a straight line in all those snow-covered trees. So here we are, almost at straight waypoint. So we're gonna put our flaps down to 10, and we gotta keep an eye on the speed as it tends to decrease very rapidly once that happens. In terms of our landing checklist, we gotta make sure our flaps are full, yaw damper is off, and auxiliary fuel pump is on. So there you go, we are lining up. Yes, I think that is the runway. We'll decrease our speed further down as for our next flaps, our speed is 120 knots. Yeah, so I am thinking that is our landing strip right there. Let's get to 120 knots. Once we do that, we are going to put our flaps down to 20 degrees. Kick my rudder pedals a little bit so that they don't act strange once we land, because there is no room for error in that runway. For our last and final flaps, full flaps, our speed limit is 108 knots, which we are currently at 110. So we're gonna be good with that. We gotta keep an eye on the altitude as we'll stop descending down at about 2,000 feet. I think I'm gonna go ahead and put my flaps full down once we get to that speed. There you go. Flaps full down, yaw damper off, and auxiliary fuel pump on. We're gonna turn off the autopilot and we'll go ahead and get ready for the landing. We have headwind, so I think that prediction worked well. We chose runway 09. One thing with Kodiak, it tends to fall out of sky if the speed is not too good at final approach.
Wind 180 at 2 knots.
So this says wind 180 at 2 knots. That is basically OnAir airline manager telling us. Speed is decreasing very quick.
500.
So we're gonna land right here. Hopefully this is gonna be a good landing. We cannot glide for too long here.
Landing time logged.
Okay, we cannot go towards that side. Oof, that was really bad. Damn. That was very bad, but we saved it. We were almost going to the other side. Oof, saved the day. Kinda. But that was very bad landing. I think this is why one of the reasons I chose to move our company all the way from New York to this area is because I wanted to fly in these strips and learn more. So we have landed. Our fuel condition lever can go to low idle. Our auxiliary fuel pump can come off. Flaps can come up. And we're not gonna go too further down. Taxi light on, landing and strobe off. So we'll try to stop somewhere over here. Good thing we have the big tires in this one. Just get clear of active runway and we can park right over here. So let's go. Parking light is on. I mean parking brake is on. And we can turn off our, there you go, alternator generator can go off. Taxi light can come off. And we'll shut off our engine.
Engine off time logged.
Let's see how bad the
flight is
landing
finished.
was.
It has been monitored
Well,
by
in terms of
OnAir.
data, it wasn't too bad. If you see negative 95 feet per minute, it's just we were a little bit too much on the right. Other than that, we got all, we even got soft landing bonus, so that is good. We're done with this mission. Let's go ahead and find another which will take us down towards south. And let's see, wrong page. We have to go to jobs, and so the pending mission is basically the special mission that we have to do, and it's gonna take us all the way around everywhere. We will get back to Fairbanks as well. So we'll go to Logistics Center. We'll choose our profile of Kodiak 100. We are choosing short hops. So let's go ahead and find our next mission. So we have to definitely look towards, going towards south. Healy River. Let's see what missions we have to go there. There is a big mission there. We have to carry 1,200 pounds. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these two missions. This one's gonna be a bit too much if we take it. So we're gonna go ahead and it's 2. Looks like it's a 2-way mission. So we might have to go all the way back there. Nope, we are not taking this. So I guess we will be taking these two. Let's see. In the next airport in McKinley National Park. What do we have here? That's a good paying mission, but we have to do a very, very soft landing. So I think I'll take these two missions. So our next mission have been selected, and I didn't check the distance. 38, not bad. We'll go to our active map. We're gonna go up here, and let's see. In terms of cargo, once we load 1,200 pounds, that is very good. We cannot get fuel, so that's the reason I added so much fuel. And we're gonna go to McKinley National Park. Let's validate our fuel, and we have to remove some of the cargo that we have right now in our aircraft. Look at that, how much we have. So right now we have 17, so we do have to remove a lot of it. I'm gonna start by removing a big chunk from one of the cargo bay, and then we can remove this, we can remove that, keeping an eye here. Also we can remove, I think, one of these. Yeah, this didn't get removed. So no, that's fuel, sorry. There's the max payload. I think we can remove this too. Okay, payload, no, we didn't have to remove that. So yeah, this should be good, almost very, very close. And once the loading is done, we'll check if everything matches up. In terms of fuel, we are supposed to have 1331. How much do we have? 1456. We have a lot of fuel. So we'll go fly now, and so we didn't burn as much fuel as we were supposed to. I don't know how that happened, but I feel like we have to decrease the fuel or else we cannot. Yeah, now it's good. And in terms of payload, we gotta increase the payload. So let's go ahead and increase the payload here. We'll just add 100 and that should do it. Yep. So everything is on green. We can go ahead, start tracking, and we are set. So now our next flight plan. So before that, let's go ahead, start engine, hoping that it doesn't do anything stupid this time. Same thing, we'll turn our auxiliary fuel pump, ignition, and starter goes to low. Let's keep an eye on NG is
Your
good.
flight will be monitored until you land and shut down the engines.
So what happened is, I don't know if it's because of temperature or something, but this doesn't go to green, which it's supposed to do, but it doesn't. So it stops at around 51%. Max 52 right now. Yeah, definitely it's because of temperature. So we're gonna go ahead, turn all of this off. We'll put the prop to max. So everything is set. The only thing that's left is our flight plan. We're just gonna press the menu and then delete our flight plan. New flight plan. We are currently at Papa Alpha Alpha November, and we are gonna take runway. We can go ahead and take runway 27. That won't be an issue. The winds are not really that crazy, and we are going to Paine. So Papa Alpha India November. So McKinley National Park, and we have weather from there. The winds are perfectly good, and we are flying towards a heading of 210 to get there. Let's see if there's a runway. Runway 25 and 17. I think we're gonna go ahead with 17. Procedure, select approach, visual 17. Sounds good to me. We have our radio minimum set to 500. That is good, and we are good to go. So there you go, we have all of that set. In terms of autopilot, we're simply gonna put it to 5500 or maybe 6500 right now. Flight data is on there, and the altitude is 1700, so similar to what we are in right now. Once you're on air, we can set the altimeter as well. For vertical speed, we will go ahead and set to about 1600, and with all that set, our altimeter is good. We don't have anything from this airport, so with all that set, let's go ahead and start moving. Flaps are set for takeoff. We don't really need taxi light. Landing and stroke and cuff. Fuel condition level will go to high idle, and we are set for takeoff. Hard to even see where the runway starts and where the runway ends. I think this should be good in terms of lining up. Auxiliary fuel pump can come on, and we are good to go. We're going to take off very soon and lift off.
Airborne
Wind
time log.
170 at 4 knots.
There you go. We are up. Flaps can go to 10. And auxiliary fuel pump can come off. Flaps full up. So this time we'll have to hand fly it most probably, most of it. Because there are mountains, I'm just gonna zoom out a little bit, and we might have to overfly those mountains, or we might have to find gaps between those mountains. Which honestly there isn't too many gaps here. I think we can clear most of those mountains if we get high enough on altitude. So I'm gonna put 8500 on the altitude selector. There you go, 8500 is set. I'll zoom in on our inset map so we know where we have to climb faster and where we can just relax a little bit. We should be able to cover all those mountains without any issue. Turn on your damper. So we might just fly on heading mode at this point. So let's turn on the heading mode. I'll reset my heading bug to come to the current heading we are at, or a little bit to the right of that, and then we can go ahead and turn on our autopilot. So autopilot is on, heading bug is on, and we are heading towards our destination. Still gotta keep an eye. So I think it is very important that we brief this as we are getting close. So if I go to, let's say over here, the waypoint, right, and we zoom out a little bit, we can see that what we have to do is we might have to fly straight in there and then join for the approach, because here there are mountains, so we definitely have to like cross over our top of descent, go over here, and then there is like a small river, so the airport is most probably near a river, and we can see that on the OnAir map as well. So we definitely gotta avoid all these mountains, especially for our top of descent. So we might straight up ahead go on this, like this riverside, and then we follow straight. So with that set, I think we have a clear plan. So I'm gonna turn my heading bug to take us more towards our right, like somewhere here, and then we can start descending down. Okay, so it seems like we got to our cruising altitude, and we are heading towards this gap between the mountains, and then we'll start descending down. Our top of descent right now is towards our left, it shows. We can start. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a manual descent. We know we have to get to our first waypoint at 2,800 feet. So right now, looking at these mountains, the safest that we can do if we zoom in is it's orange. So it's going to be around like 3,000 to 4,000 feet. So what we're going to do is we're going to descend down in 500 feet per minute. I'll select my altitude to be like 3,000, but we're not going to descend down that much. Okay, and with the vertical speed selected, we're going to descend down at 500 feet per minute. Cut down on my power so we don't overspeed here. Or what we can do is we can use our heading to move towards that big gap between the mountains there, and then use this passage, and we can put our descent to just 200 feet per minute. Our inset map shows that we are still good. There is no red areas. We'll increase our descent rate one more time to 500 feet per minute. Our altitude selector, I'll set it to final approach fix, which is 2000 feet. So I'll set it up to that, and we'll just continue our descent, making sure that our inset map is all good, because if we zoom out, we know we are definitely gonna find some areas. See, slowly it's coming alive, and right now we are good. We are clear of the mountains around us, and we'll basically use this gap right here. Now we gotta make sure there is a mountain right here, and it's gonna be turbulent as we are flying right over some mountains. And now we can increase our descent rate to about 1000 feet per minute, and we're gonna take a turn. Gonna take a right turn to go over that passage. Making sure that our power is good. So here you go, the green area. Our target is to go right over there, and then just straight ahead line up with the runway. This is going to be very fun. We can decrease our, it should be good, 1000 feet per minute right now. Our bottom of descent is going to be in 4.5 minutes. That's probably the final approach fix. Increase my speed a little bit. Let's turn right a little bit more. We're really clear of all the mountains here. And on our right and left, yeah, there are hills and stuff, but we are still good. So once we get over here, we'll go straight towards our first waypoint. Power is good. And we can decrease our vertical speed here. We'll keep it to about 600 feet per minute. We'll increase the power just a little bit more, so our airspeed is good. It's really fun flying in remote areas. Our heading is still good. Just move a little bit to the right to avoid those turbulent mountains over there. We have tailwind right now, so let me quickly go ahead and check the METAR for our destination. So still good, winds are still good, there is completely calm winds, visibility is good, all that suggests that we are gonna have a good landing. And we are back here. So our airport is somewhere next to those hills. We can check our vertical profile here. We are really good, almost like below, just a little bit below, maybe around 100 feet below what we have to be, but that is good. So I'll decrease my vertical speed just a little bit more. We'll stay within the range of 140-45 in terms of speed, and we can slowly start taking our left turn. Not too much. There are hills on our left. Oh, the sun is gonna peek through any. Ah, never mind. But that looks beautiful. We are at about 140. So we'll stay within 140 because our flap speed for flap 10 is 138. Let's take a left turn here. Our vertical profile is still good. We just gotta increase our descent rate just a little bit more. And now we're gonna head towards the waypoint. Not too much, as there is a hill and we can see on our inset map that is red, so we'll have to divert a little bit to the left and stuff. I'll decrease my vertical speed furthermore. Make sure my power is still good, and we are heading straight towards this gap, so that is good. I'll zoom in a little bit more. So we're gonna just follow this green patch, and then we're gonna get to the final waypoint right over there. So what I can go to make my life easier is I can go ahead to final and then press the direct to button and activate that. So now it takes me straight to the final waypoint. So our speed is good, everything is good. We're gonna take a left turn here to follow that small passage. Still descending down pretty good. I can decrease my descent rate furthermore. I'll keep it to about 100 feet, and then once we get to our final approach fix, we can set it up. Flaps can go to 10. We are within flap speed, but I'm gonna keep my power up a little bit. Kodiak does tend to decrease very, very fast. This is so beautiful. So we gotta make sure we're a little bit to the right, as we are very close to these mountains, and then making sure we are clear. I'll zoom in on our inset map. There you go, we are completely on greens. Turn, and I can zoom in on our main map as well. So we're gonna avoid those using heading mode to make all these turns. We're at our flap speed for flap 20 as well. And we can start descending down now. Pull down on my power. Look at how beautiful this is. Wow. And our airport should be somewhere over there. We should descend further down. Put my flaps to 20. And I think I see the airport. I think that could be our airfield. So let's move here. This is it for our autopilot, so I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect that, and yeah, we're heading towards our airport now. You can go ahead, set full flaps, your damper off, and auxiliary fuel pump on, which will set us up for a good landing. We can zoom in on our map.
500.
Take off my rudder pedal just a little bit. If we feel anything too gnarly, we are definitely gonna go around, but so far it's going pretty good. Gotta avoid these trees. There you go. Oop, that's a very, very harsh. Okay,
Landing time
there you
logged.
go. We landed. That was a hard landing. 100% sure that was a very, very hard landing. Because we, at the end, we just had to get down super quick. So we're gonna take a right turn. Fuel condition lever can come to low idle. Landing and strobe can go off. And we'll get off the runway right about here, and we can stop here. Flaps can go up, fuel auxiliary fuel pump can come off, and we made it to ground. It was a little bit hard landing, but with the given condition, I think I can forget about that. Let's go ahead, turn off our AC. Auxiliary bus will come off, alternator generator off, and fuel feather for prop, fuel condition
Engine off, time
lever
logged.
off.
The flight is finished.
Oop, I forgot
It
to
has been
put parking
monitored by
brake,
OnAir.
and the landing was regular. There you go. It was 219, a little bit hard. Other than that, everything else is looking good. So yeah, we had another good flight. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I personally enjoyed it a lot, going through the mountains and all that, and I'll see you in the next video.